around. Let's see. Let's get it shared. Colts practice facility, huh? That had to be awesome.
Old practice. Their training camp was right beside where we were playing.
I have to
Yeah,
say,
they.
like, if there be ever a good place to do a flag tournament, it's an NFL practice facility because it's
Oh
always top
yeah,
notch.
they're the type of turf that they play on. It's unreal. It's amazing what they got set up there for those guys. But
I, yeah,
NFL, best of the best for them guys.
yeah. They use the money well over there, and I
Oh,
like to see
definitely.
what an NFL turf field feels like and looks like one day.
Oh man, it's. I don't even know how to explain it. It's just soft as can be. It's crazy.
That's awesome. Like, I'm glad you were able to experience that. Same for the rest of the guys who were there this weekend. Like I think that was
Yeah,
really
we.
unique.
I mean, we had a lot of DMV guys there, man. It was pretty exciting to get three area teams down there in a 32 team tournament. So a lot of guys had fun. They um, guys had fun. They enjoyed themselves. They got to see. I mean, it's the best of the best in that tournament. Um, there really wasn't no bad players down there, man. It was you've seen every player throughout the circuit that was there, and seen a bunch of you hadn't seen, but you had heard of. You hear about some of the guys on those top 10 lists and stuff like that all them sites put out, and then to finally actually get to see some of those guys. It was pretty fun.
It's great to hear, great to see. Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the Chris Boone Show. Been a while since we've done one of these, Chris. Been a long time. I know you've been keeping busy. I've been keeping busy. It's
Yeah.
been an insane year in the sport of flag football. And it feels like ever since last July, when we go back to that East Coast Nationals tournament in Richmond, we look back
Yeah.
over a year later since then. That was the true beginning of what has been this wild year in the sport. Memories going back to that tournament in Richmond, playing 8 man for the Savages, the Virginia Savages,
Yeah.
that was,
Right.
and playing
Yeah.
5 man with Showtime. And I believe it was at the time your first large scale 5 man tournament and that sort of level.
Yes, that was our coming out party in 5 man. We had uh, previously just went down to um, Bowie had some little tournament or some league that we went down and played in, but we didn't go to the playoffs. We had some other commitment or something, so we just played in the league. And then to go our first 5 man tournament, go to the championship, lost the main event. Um, you know, Playing against Mike D, and you see all that Speedy and all those guys out there, man. It was for us to get that far and actually have the game in hand. 18 seconds left, they scored and beat us, but that was the start of it. And all the guys at that point on was like, all right, we need to take this more serious. So many great players. It's a great style. It's probably the best style in the country, to me, anyway. So everybody of who's who is in that style. So that's where you want to be. And then we just kept building.
And you take a look at it. We talk about a term I've been using a lot this year: flag football franchise. I first
Yeah.
used it to describe main event after nationals because they had an insane run last year themselves. They won that
Yeah.
5 man, then they won XFFL sevens, then they won
Yeah.
8 man at West Coast Nationals, and then 9 man A in January. And you take a
Yeah.
look at what Showtime has done in what
Yeah.
has been a very short time. As you remember, Chris, you began Showtime a long time ago. People don't realize Showtime is
Yeah.
not a recent team. This team goes
No.
way back.
Way back, a different style. We won a bunch of championships in 6 man and 8 man. Um, then we just ran into 9 man in 2017. I was introduced fall 2017. Then just like that, we just, you know, 9-man was just so much more like real football that all my guys just gravitated towards it. So, we took a couple years doing that, and then we started hearing about this 5-man stuff. We went and tried that, and since then, I mean, like you said, since that first year at East Coast Nationals that we lost in the championship, the rest of that year we had gotten to like 3 or 4 championships in a row and just could not get it done. Just for whatever reason, just we was losing on the last play of something, pretty much all of them. Then to go to Worlds in January, got past main event, got past fruition, got past all these teams, played the Becks, played Goats in the championship, lost. That was kind of heartbreaking, but then we turned around a couple months later and got them back at East Coast Nationals and finally got our first national chip. So it was just a crazy year in 5-man, man. My guys have just, in every tournament that, they just wanted to get back out there. All right, this is what we got to do. This is what we got to do. This is what we got to add. There was nobody felt down when we lost in those championships. Nobody felt down because we all knew our time was coming. It's losing isn't, if you don't look at losing as a loss and you look at it as a learning experience, and every moment, every situation, every game you play in, there's something to learn from it. So if you can actually do that, break it down to see what you need to do and what you got to do, where you got to improve, guys got to be selfless. First and foremost, you got to have a group of guys that are going, okay, I was a star. I was getting 10 catches a game. I'm going to go to 4 catches a game because I can do this, and this route really well. When you need it, call for it. I'll get it done. So if guys have that, mindset of saying, all right, to win this shit, all the other teams, Texas, Bex, all these Goats, all these other guys, they're all some of the best players in the country. But you know what? All of them are unselfish. All of them. So we had to get into that mindset, get the right personnel, and we finally got our first national championship, man. And it's been a hell of a year, man. I can't be more proud of my guys.
And I got to say, as somebody who's followed this particular group of guys that has been coming around to the 4-state area and playing for years, I'm really proud to see where you guys are at currently with everything going on right now. 5-man, top 5 in the country, 7-man AFFL. At the very least, you're going to finish in the top 8 by the end of this tournament. That's a huge achievement. We talk about it. Crispin, the one thing I've said about you throughout your career is you are one of the fastest learners of a style compared to most people. A lot of guys tend to struggle when they change styles, whether it be going from 8-man to a 9-man style or vice versa or anything like that. We've seen guys try to make transitions across different styles and not be able to find any sort of success.
Yeah. It's all about learning and studying the game, man. I mean, think about it. I know everybody says they're really busy, but everybody's got 10, 15 minutes out of their day, whether they're using the bathroom, just sitting on the couch. At some point, you're sitting down resting. If you can take 15 minutes a day and study up on something that you want to be good at, you will be good at it. But if you just go out there and say, oh, I'm good, we're just going to go beat these guys. Look at these guys ain't no good. And then they blow your damn doors off. It's because they know the style. So what I always try to do is I know the skill set of my players. So if I can figure out a way to best use their skill set in any style that I play in, I think we'll have a good chance. So, like I said, you definitely need the personnel, but at the same time, pay attention, guys. There's players all over this country. I mean, everybody is on social media all day long. So I know people have time. how hard is it to look on the Instagram or look up a player? Barbecue chicken, Webb. Look up his stuff. Watch some of his styles. Watch some of the plays that they run. It's all about how bad do you want it. Do you want to be good, or do you just want to play rec ball? If you want to play rec ball, that's fine. Okay.
Yeah.
But if you want to be legit, man, you got to pay attention to what everybody else is doing.
And this is the time. This is the time in this sport where right now players have an opportunity to step up in a big way. The opportunities are there more than ever. And, there's been over times where some guys, depending on where they're from or where they're born, they never get a chance to experience certain games and styles. I was talking to somebody earlier, the state of Nebraska, there's no flag football at all.
Oh, wow.
Could you imagine growing up as, you were born in Virginia where VFFA 8-man has been king over there for the longest time.
Right.
And that's
the 70s.
Yeah. And that's how you originally came up with Showtime back in the day, playing that 8-man style and putting together a team that had a lot of prestige. In fact, we covered you guys back in December at VFFA State.
Yep.
Tough going there for Showtime out on day 2 in the first game. Have you guys had much chance to revisit playing 8-man this year, or have you guys been taking some time off?
No, well,
we looking to play Virginia's 8-man states this season.
Yeah, once we kind of got more into the circuit type things, we kind of faded away from that, and then normally we're always in the Final Four, the championship, or whatever, in that. But last December, we went down like 13 guys. We signed up at the deadline just because, Mouse felt bad because we've been playing in it so long, and then we didn't put our team in. And then, you just take a bunch of random guys because you got nationals coming up, 3 weeks later in January, in Orlando. So a lot of guys, you don't have the money to get the trip to stay. I'd rather than make nationals, than come down to 8-man states just because we haven't been playing it. It is fun to play. Like I said, if I ever get caught somewhere in Virginia here or there, I'll still play it. But right now with the 9 and the 5, especially the run we're having in 5 right now switching to a completely different non-contact style to AFFL, and we played our ass off this weekend, man, and I'm proud of the guys. So right now we're trying to focus on those 2 things and not as much 8-man, just because it's I ain't gonna say it ain't as big, but it's not on that level of the other styles.
Understandable, 100%. And that's the VFFA style. It's been one of the biggest in that state, and it's not widely played. And that's one of the things. And I have to say, I like how nowadays in flag football, we're starting to see a lot more diversity within certain styles. You go back and look at how now you're seeing York 8-man starting to gain more prominence, which while their 8-man has been around since the 80s and 90s, it hasn't really been given the attention like it has in recent years, where a lot of teams are coming up there. And I don't know if you had an opportunity to catch why AFFL just went 8s last weekend or not. I know you've been very busy preparing for AFFL. We'll get to that momentarily. But what are your impressions of all of the newer flag styles that are popping up, like the different kind of 8-mans you're seeing? 7-man XFL style starting to grow in a big way right now. Tough League recently resumed across the country. They're going to be back this year. What is it to you? What stands out the most right now? What style, if you wanted to try one that's going around right now, would you give a shot?
I would say it's hard. So there is a lot of things popping off, different styles here or there. My only thing with all that is you're going to be behind the 8 ball when you actually play your style 8-man, then you go to the circuit, play their style 8-man. So you're playing a style or studying a style that means nothing, So now when you go down and you're going to be in a 3rd and 10 situation, and this play might work in your league, but now it's illegal playing in another league, or just any oddball thing like that could just come back and hurt you. Or you're sitting there arguing a rule, thinking you're right and you're not because it's a totally different style. So at this point, I'm all for leagues trying to get on the circuit page, get the same rules. Like even when teams are having 5-man contact rules, they're not even the same as the damn national circuit. So now guys are getting up into nationals or getting to the circuit and they're playing 5 and they false start. And in their league, it's only a 5-yard penalty, but in the circuit, it's a loss of down. So I'd say you gotta, whatever you're playing, if I'd say if 40% of your league teams travel, make the rules and the style the same as what it's going to be on the circuit. Or, I don't see the point of playing. Now, if you don't have any teams that travel and you're a small town league that just wants to do it for fun, for rec, that's fine. I mean, that's all cool. But if 40% of your teams travel, don't put them behind the 8 ball, because we all know league ball, you may hate each other, but when your team travels, your league team travels, your area team, you're rooting for them. And you don't want to see them behind just because they play the wrong style.
And, I always felt like that was something that affected, and let's go shift the topic to 9-man here. I always felt like that affected the Washington County Flag Football League in a big way. And Chris, I believe this was the first season where you were not in the league since the spring of 2017. And this being your first exposure to 9-man, going back to that 2017 fall season, and even in your 2004 experience that a lot of people don't know about when you came up there playing wide receiver for the Bulldogs.
Yeah. I had never, played 9-man before, so I just showed up. And at that time, I was still a younger guy, so I was playing receiver, and shit, I blocked every damn play. I said, oh, this style ain't for me. We ran the ball 95 plays out of 100. So I said, oh, this is definitely not a flag style. So I kind of stayed away from it for 13 years or whatever. Then coming back to it, but you're 100%. I tried to get Andy and them to vote in the league. I don't know, 2018, it was supposed to be sanctioned, using sanction rules, because county still plays. So when I would argue some of the rules, they're like, we play high school football rules. I'm like, well, we're not playing high school football. So what are we doing? We don't do kickoffs. I said, so as soon as ADR started traveling, we ain't played special teams play in 2 years. And now we travel in the circuit where you got to kick off every damn time. So now, that's just new for guys. Now they're out there, they got to learn to block on kickoffs, wedge returns, and all this kind of stuff. So Washington County definitely needed to update their stuff, and I've even told Tom that the league is great. People love it. It's a great area. It's kind of in between for everybody to make. County, longest running 9-man league in the country. But if you don't update, you're going to play yourself out. And I'm not sure what's going on right now, but I think that's starting to happen a little bit.
Can't really speak on anything at the moment. But I feel like, at times it did affect a lot of players because they would go to the circuit and it would be a much different ball game. But I felt like once they got out there and saw that, they were able to bring that back home and be able to learn a lot of different things. You go back to that. I do feel like it's a good starter league for a lot of guys who are learning the game and want to slowly adjust to it. I've always said that. And, you've seen the boom in population on terms of players. Martinsburg, West Virginia alone in that region, I'm pretty sure we're close to 100 players living in the state of West Virginia who are in 9-man right now. And that was on display when you and the Showtime guys went out there to nationals. You guys were out there with the Gladiators. Reflecting back with the Gladiators experience, I know you guys had it tough that weekend, a little short in terms of personnel at times.
Yeah.
Going through it, we'll go over nationals real quick, game by game. You guys, I believe, started out with, was it Takeover, I believe?
It was takeover. We ended up winning that game, but towards the fourth quarter of that game, it was a downpour. I mean, it was bad, and I only had 2 footballs with me. And at the end of that game, I had 2 medicine balls. I mean, you couldn't throw them past 5 yards. You basically all you could do is pitch it. Um, and a lot of guys left. I mean, I think we played the Scorpions with like 13 guys, and they beat the dog out of us. So they beat the hell out of us. We had like 13 guys who couldn't do nothing. A lot of guys left. I mean, that's the problem when you got guys on your team that play a bunch of different styles. So they don't take it. They're not as committed. So when they get down there, they're like, F this, is pouring down rain, and I'll go play 4-man in the morning or 7-man or 5-man, something like that. So, but we ended up coming back Sunday or Saturday, played the 7-point spread. We had to win to get in.
That was a great game. That was an epic battle between you guys.
That was, but I don't remember any of it. But we ended up winning. I got knocked out with a concussion.
You toughed it out in a big way. Like I give you respect in the sense of being able to get yourself back out there, because a lot of people don't realize you were not in the best condition going into day 3 of that when you had to go out and play the 5-man pro championship that morning and then play later on that afternoon against the Strong Island Bulldogs and 9-man.
Yeah, so 5-man, like we went 3-0 in 5-man, come up, had that concussion, so I didn't go to bed. Didn't go to sleep because, I mean, I always heard you don't sleep after a concussion, blah, blah, blah. I'm an older guy, so shit's probably changed by now. But, just growing up, that's what we always heard. So didn't go to bed. We think we won our first 2 playoff games, played for Wishins. We scored a touchdown with like 6 seconds left to beat them. We played the Goats. I think we lost 13-7, something like that. So I walk off the sideline after we get done playing. We're sitting on the bleachers, and I leaned over and asked one of the guys, "Hey, what time do we play?" He said, "What the hell are you talking about?" I said, "What time do we play?" He goes, "Dude, we already played." So, like, right then, I kind of it was like I woke up. So I didn't even realize I had played all morning. Didn't even know, man. Didn't even know. So I'd advise nobody to do that shit ever again. You get a fucking concussion, go get yourself checked out, because I took a hell of a risk and didn't even know it. Because I looked a lot of things up after I got home and shit about it. So, and my head was banged up for about 10 days. So later on that day, we played the Bulldogs in 9-man, and I kind of just put RT at running back and kind of just called a couple plays here or there, kind of did my offense so he could throw the ball more. Really couldn't do much. My head and shoulders and shit was killing me. So, but I made a commitment. I was down there. If I commit to somebody, I'm there. So as long as I can walk, I'm gonna play. And I did. So it wasn't the smartest choice. So I don't recommend it to anybody out
there. 100%. I understand. It's tough. That's the one thing I always give you. No matter how hard you've been hit, no matter what the circumstances are, you get right back up with the same intensity and fire and fight that you had before. And that is a strong advisory. Get yourself checked out after a concussion. You may, I've been through that. Sometimes you don't even realize the severity of what's happening until after the fact.
Until after, you don't, you think you're normal, but you're really not. You're not even close to normal. And then I just kind of woke up on the sideline after we got done playing everything and was like, and I felt great after I woke up. I kind of, for, an hour or so, when I finally realized what the hell I was doing, kind of snapped out of the little fog I was in. I felt good for a while, but then, the pain and shit just comes back. It just eats you up. So, man, I don't recommend anybody do that. You get concussion, get your ass checked out. Your life, I mean, you only get one life. So I almost fucked up, but I gotta, again, you gotta live and learn, man. You gotta, not all good shit's gonna happen to you, but if you can take the bad shit and learn from it, and you'll be better in life.
Agreed. Impressions on playing for Gladiators. Over the time in 9-man, you originally started out with TMT with TJ.
Yeah.
Then that became Adrenaline Rush. You and Damian Kason. You guys had a hell of a run for a while there.
Yeah.
And then Showtime, you had a bit of time yourself with your own 9-man team, which was after the evolution of ADR. You guys in your only season of 9-man went undefeated up until the championship game. You had to play a very tough Misfits team that a lot of people don't realize how great that team really was, especially on paper.
Shit, they were loaded.
Yeah, like people will go back and look at that championship game on terms of talent on the field, and it's iconic looking back at that game. We just posted it actually a few weeks ago on the YouTube page, and what a battle it was of Misfits and Showtime.
Oh hell yeah, that was a hell of a game, man. I mean, you look at their squad. I mean, they got OMFFL, MAFFL. I mean, they were 40 deep with all great players. It wasn't no JV team, that's for damn sure. I mean, they were loaded across the board, and Regan, his ability to get guys to buy in and is legendary, man. I mean, he's a hell of a dude. So I see why guys want to play with him, and they banged us out that day. It wasn't my day. They beat us up and won the championship, man. I'm happy for them guys.
Playing with the Misfits in this 2021 circuit season, I know you're with the Glads at Nationals. They have not popped up since. They will, however, be at Charm City Classic. Looking forward to seeing what Johnny LaCourt has in store for Charm City.
Johnny's a good dude, man. Johnny's a good guy, man.
Yeah.
I really like Johnny a lot, man. He's one of those guys that just call and talk to you and check in on you and shit. A lot of times when he talked, we really didn't even talk about football. So, dude, he's one hell of a guy. If anybody gets a chance to go out of their way and talk to him, go up and say hi to him, talk to the guy, man, because he's a real dude, man. I really like him.
Yeah, I'm a huge fan of Johnny LaCourt. I look forward to seeing him at Charm City in a few weeks.
Yeah.
Going back to Misfits real quick, I know you started out with them. OMFFL, you guys had a lot of preseason work. And, the last few years, preseason before spring has really grown in the sport of 9-man. Like, I go back years ago practicing with Survivor 6 years ago in the snow with Coley Jones out there as a
right. And y'all probably had like 8 people, right?
No, we had 30 in our camp.
Oh, did you? Oh, shit. Congratulations on that. I mean,
that was the thing. Like, West Virginia always had players in 9-man playing in county because it's natural. It's only right across the border. George Munn goes back to 1993.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Yeah. But before Survivors, it kind of had started going a little bit downward. Chris Farmer had been in the league as well, but by 2014, it wasn't what it is now. And a lot of what started there was with that Survivors team, bringing a lot of guys out of that Martinsburg, Musselman area. Yeah. And then after that, Danny Longerbeam came around. He brought in a lot of guys that became the core of the Ducks and went on to play with Ruckus, like Mike and of his guys. They've gone on to play a lot of flag football over the years.
Yeah, well, I mean, once you start something like that and people hear about it, just word of mouth travels fast, and everybody loved playing football growing up, right? So you're like, shit, there's a real competitive league we can hit.
Yeah.
It's contact. You're gonna get a lot of dudes, especially a lot of guys coming out of high school, didn't go to college or whatever. I'm looking for something to do. So this area is, like I said, I hope the Hagerstown League holds up because they're in the middle ground area where all the players are. And if they can figure out how to update that and get that on track, I always enjoyed my time there.
Yeah. And, it really did give a lot of guys exposure to the game that they would have never gotten in other places. We talk
100%.
about West Virginia. Years ago, there wasn't even enough to have a West Virginia team. Now you got maybe 100 players. We saw Showtime.
Right, you get 5 or 6 teams.
Yeah. Like you got Showtime down there. You guys came up through Winchester initially, but I know a lot of you guys reside down in that area now, which I think really helps out with prepping for tournaments and everything like that when you got a lot of guys close to home.
Close to home, you can practice. And, that's one reason why we kind of all went with the Misfits, because at Showtime, once we got into 5 and realized for 9-man, you got to be able to carry a 25, 30-man roster. We just couldn't do it. All our guys are so spread out and shit like that. So, Regan being able to pull, his mastermind shit out and be able to reach 4 different counties and being able to get guys together and guys in practice and shit like that. I love that shit, man. I feel if you can build something at home and guys are willing to buy in and you can actually go out there and practice together and shit like that, you're going to be better. You're going to be better and get better. Because a lot of these travel teams in 9-man, they don't play together all year until the tournaments come. So if Misfits we can keep this thing rolling, get together, get some practices, get some tournaments in. We still need some pieces here or there, and we got to get better, obviously. Man, we could have something.
Yeah, and you look back at Misfits in the first season in OMFFL, you guys had an excellent year. Talk about it, Boone. Going from playing in the 4 state leagues over the years, you've been in Washington County, you conquered Keystone, you went over to OMFFL. You dominated the 4 state region. People don't realize you only had 3 losses between both KFFL and Washington County leagues.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I lost in the playoff game up there to the Scorpion, which was that was just a hell of a game. Hell of a game, man. They had their tournament circuit roster, and I don't, we beat them in, what was it, Ocean City?
Yeah, you guys got them in OC on day 2.
So, yeah, and tournament-wise, we was able to get them. But then league play, I don't know, man. I started off bad. By the time we got it rolling, we're still working on shit. Me and Tay are new to this shit together, So we're Tay's an absolute stud. So I believe once me and him can get this offense down pat, make sure our O-line is working together right. I play a little different style, so I know it's hard on Jared and some of those guys playing with me because I play a little different way. So the way you would normally block for Clancy, you don't block for me the same way. So, we got a lot to work on before nationals come, but I feel once we get all the pieces together, because my guys, a lot of my Showtime guys, they're on Misfits. They just ain't been able to come because we've been so damn busy with 5-man and shit like that we haven't been able to make. A lot of my guys haven't been able to come over. So once I'm able to get my guys in there with Regan and they're at that point they're not my guys. They're going to be Misfits guys. Because all my guys have already bought into the concept of playing with the Misfits. They're 100% in, and now we just got to get some time together. Obviously AFFL, we really wanted to look at Baltimore as our nationals roster, but I'm not gonna say unfortunately, but now with the whole AFFL thing, that's not going to be able to happen because AFFL takes #1 priority right now.
And I understand that decision 100%. I think that's a good decision on your end. You talk about AFFL, you're looking at a very long road to that championship still. You got to do 3 straight weekends. We'll get to that in a moment, actually. Let's talk about a few of the 9-man teams you have seen or played against this year.
Okay.
I'm going to go through OMFFL real quick. Your impressions on Rampage. We talk about what they've done this year. 26-5-2 is their record.
Yeah.
Runner up in MAFFL. They were the winner of OMFFL. They won Ocean City, semifinalists in Atlantic City. Your thoughts on this Rampage team this year that I believe you played about 3 times already, exhibition?
I probably did. Yeah, they I mean, Rampage has a legit quarterback. So if you just start there with Chris, you're in good hands. You're always going to be in position. You're always going to be able to win the game. So you're never going to be out of the game when you have a guy like him. Then you go from O-line is real big. Receivers, you got Chico and those guys. They're real skilled. Defense is real skilled. The best thing about Rampage is when you play Rampage, you're playing their circuit roster because those guys are there. They do not miss. So, when Misfit shows up to play them, we ain't got a circuit roster. Rampage does. And I love that. That is so those guys are so committed. I just love it, man. They're a hell of a team, and I wish they'd win B. I root for them every time they play.
I got to give it to them. Like we talked about the work they have played. If you go back to the Nationals, Rampage is, and counting the exhibitions in Baltimore too. I believe there was about a game back then as well. They have neared 59-man games in the last 6 months.
Yeah, I mean, they're putting in the work, man. They got a goal, and they're going after it. So you have to respect every player on that team. They want that B national title, and I'm behind them 100%. I hope they get it, man, because the work they're putting in, they deserve it.
No mercy, Scorpions.
Love playing them guys, man. They're skilled. They got skilled players for days. They probably got 15 skilled guys could start on every team around here. I mean, they're legit loaded all the way across the board. And you got OG Proctor leading you. You fuck, dude. He's a legend around here. So, he's the guy. He always makes smart decisions, take care of the ball, puts them in position. Him and Travis got a hell of a connection. I don't even think they have to call plays for each other. They already know where to go. So. And the Scorpions D line is just crazy nuts. They're so good. So the Scorpions are a legit team. They're a legit team on the A circuit level and can compete against any of the teams up north.
And we saw that actually. They got to that semifinal against Main Event back in Atlantic City in a game that was only 8-point differential between the two. Scorpions falling short in a game where both Mike D and Greg Proctor had 2 costly picks in it, and if either of them were able to convert those into scoring drives, it would have been a wildly different.
It changes, yeah. That's what I said. The Scorpions, I mean, they're loaded, man. They're for a DMV area team, they're loaded. So if they keep their momentum they've had, I mean, who knows? At Nationals, they could be a top 4 team in the country.
Yeah. I look forward to seeing how they end up finishing out the rest of this year. I know you didn't get a chance to actually play against them, but Maryland Titans and what they've done this year, because they have turned this franchise around, and they've always been one of those tough B-level teams, but the addition of Doc back in January has been very critical to what I feel like has been a much better squad this year.
Right. Now, don't they got what, Otis too, right?
I believe I can't quite recall.
And Charles.
Yeah, Charles made the jump to the Titans too. And
so
they a few of his guys over from MAFFL left last season. You talked about
I watched them play Scorpions right after we played them. They looked real solid. They looked good. I don't know how good their defense was. I couldn't really tell during that game because Scorpions, they was gassed. But I mean, from when I seen them play earlier in the season to where I seen them play in the playoffs, they got a hell of a lot better. And when you have a couple studs like they got, a tight end and a receiver, man, they always got a chance to beat you.
Agreed 100%. Your impressions on Doc, 55 years old, still playing 9-man at this level. Do you have aspirations to try to play 10 more years?
Oh man, dude, I love it that he's still out there playing. I mean, it's fucking awesome. I mean, it's so hard. It's so hard to give up something that all of us have done since we've been like 5. You know, we've been trained to be an athlete our whole life. You know, you wake up, especially going through, little league football practice, high school, middle school football practice, high school football practice. Then you go to college. You're literally on a routine and a schedule your whole life through playing sports, whatever sport it is. I play basketball. I had a routine too. So, and then as you get older and you don't have that routine anymore, man, it kind of hurts a little bit because you've always had a direction, um, of goals. And then, if you kind of run out of that, I know I broke my foot when I was out for about a year and a half. And my daughter's mom, she used to tell me, she goes, I cannot wait till you can get back out there and play sports because you're a damn asshole. She said, you're an asshole. I don't even want you in the house anymore because, it's something I've always done my whole life and then it was taken away. So, for a year and a half. So it changes, you get used to doing something every day or looking forward to something end of the week. And then when you can't do it, man, it hurts. Ask any guys that have surgery, ask Orion. He's had surgery. Mouse went through a surgery. I mean, that shit is, it was hard for Mouse to even come watch us play because it tears you up, man. It just hurts. Not being, and another thing, guys that play sports, we might argue and cuss each other, but we literally are a family. Like, I look forward to going out there, being around the guys, talking to guys. You see other kids, other players' kids grow up. You know what I mean? Like, it's an amazing feeling just being able to be out there with people. So I don't blame Doc at all for staying out there that long.
Yeah, and there's something I noticed with a lot of the quarterbacks when I look around this area, going and looking at OMFFL, you look at Chris Price, he's about 36. Greg Proctor, I know he's in his 40s.
Right.
You yourself, Doc, you take a look as well, Lonzel, you go further down the list and you look around, like even John McMullen was actually a USFTL Hall of Famer. He was playing YAFFL, just went 8 a few weeks ago. 60 years old, he'll be in the next year or so. Throwing 3 touchdowns a game and going up against a very loaded Black Ops team that had a lot of familiar faces from Owings Mills on it, including Tay and Eddie Thomas.
I seen their picture. They were loaded. Them guys are loaded.
And you got to think, it's crazy to think that Jungle Boys team that McGraw quarterbacked and nearly knocked them off in that playoff round on day 2.
Yeah.
And that gives
congratulations to all the guys on Black Ops too. Like I said, I know a lot of those guys. I didn't get a chance to reach out to any of them, congratulate them and everything like that. So definitely congratulations on that. Hell of a win.
Yeah. And I think it shows, like, overall that talent in the end and good football minds combined, guys who understand the flag game and can at the same time make the big time plays, have the fundamentals down. If you can go out there and execute and play your game, no matter what style, I feel like you're always going to go out there and win. I'm going to go ask about a few more teams. Elite Rebels, you've gotten to see them a lot this year.
Yeah, I love TJ's growth, man. He's a young athlete, man. He's good.
Yeah.
He's good, man. He's gonna be good. Every time I see him, I try to go over and talk to him and just tell him a couple plays here or there that, hey, try this, try that, because you won't always have your legs. So the more he keeps learning and growing, man, he's gonna be dangerous, man. He's going, and he wants it. Like, that's the key. Like, a lot of guys just play to play. TJ wants it. Like, he wants to get better. He wants to win. So I love watching him play, man. I enjoy talking to him too. And they're gonna be good, man. They got to shore their defense up. Right now, they give up about 30 damn points a game. So I don't know who they got calling it or running it over there, but y'all shore that up. Get your secondary D line on the same page, and y'all gonna be good.
I think they definitely have that sort of potential. You look at what they've done this year on the circuit alone. That game against you guys, it was not very good for that defense. I think
Right.
41 is the most points you ever put up in a circuit game.
Right. Yeah, probably is. Yep.
And you look
Yeah,
at
they.
the next, and that was the one thing was I remember watching you guys against the Lions after, and
Yeah.
saying to TJ that you sure about this A stuff. Because
Yeah.
I was a little unsure. I was like, can this Rebels team really make that transition? And in that next game, TJ Holston grew up and became a man when he
Yeah.
nearly knocked off the Lions on the last play of the game.
Right. Exactly. He's got the skill set, right? Just got to get he got to get his mind on the same page as his athleticism, and if he can do that, he's going to be dangerous. Which I know he's working on that. So I'm going to say when he does that because I know he's working on it. Like I said, I've talked to him a couple times. He wants it, man. He wants it bad. So you want it that bad. He's putting in the work, man. I see good things for those guys.
I do too. And he's shown a lot of poise against teams like Elite, against Strong Island Bulldogs, Lions,
Right.
and of course he played main event pretty well, all things considered, back at AC.
Right.
He definitely has a bright future. Going down the list.
Another thing, I want to say one more thing about TJ too. People out there, TJ stays and watches the games. He stays and watches the Bulldogs. He stays and watches the Lions. So if you're willing to put in that extra time of studying, knowing what to do when situations come up, it's always not about being the best player. Sometimes you got to be the smartest player too. So if you can combine them, you can be dangerous. So, like I said, TJ putting in the work, which a lot of guys don't do. Right after the game, they leave, don't study, don't pay attention. So,
And that's something that I've always noticed with you, Chris, is that you're always the first one there at the games to start in the morning, and you
yeah,
stay to the very end. And nobody really notices that, but you're over there watching every single thing about a team. You're
yeah,
studying them in every game. You're looking at their players. You're breaking it down in your head, and you already
yeah,
know what to do going into the game.
yeah. 100%. I do it. Not everybody can get away with that all the time, though. My girl, she'd be wondering where the hell I'm at sometimes, but I let her know this is the passion I have, and I want to be great. So I will take that extra time, go out there and do that. I need to know what do they run on third down, third and 10, what are they playing? What do they do on offense when they 4th and 20 and they got to do a play? What play do they do? Because a lot of people, even me, I'm repetitious, right? So if something's working, that's what I'm running. So if you can pick up those things, 5-man the same way. That's another reason why we've gelled at 5-man so fast too. So I have Joe that runs prime time. He's came over and helped me with the defense. And between me and him, we'll sit there and take a game and break it down clip by clip. Not even of our game. So um, if you want to win, you want to beat these teams. If you already know what they're doing, you're gonna put yourself in a good situation.
Your impressions on Ride Out.
Shit, fucking them boys play Smash Mouth. I know that they be doing some damn run plays and all that shit, man. They're tough. They got Dom over there. They got some big linemen, Lionel over there. They got some dogs, man. They run some different shit. So if you're not used to seeing it, they can catch you on it. Defense is good. Anywhere like I've said this probably a million times. People don't pay much attention to Dame, or they don't really realize how good a football player he is because of all the other stuff that goes all the trash talking and stuff like that. But if you actually break Dame's game down, he's a really good player, man. And so if he's on that defense, you know they're legit. And I can't remember how many shutouts they had at the OC or
They actually had a
or
shutout.
AC. I can't remember which one it was.
Yeah, they had a shutout in every game until the last one when they gave up the sole touchdown late in the game.
Right. So yeah, I mean, that defense is on point. They run the ball. They don't, they play smash mouth football. If you can't score on them, they're going to keep the game low scoring, and they're going to be right there. So, respect to Lionel. He's a hell of a player too. And I've told him that too. I played with him at Ocean City, and I like his mindset for the game. I like how he thinks. So if you got a guy like that leading you, man, you like I said again, you're gonna put yourself in position to win. If you got a leader and you got guys willing to follow him, you're starting off great.
Talk about the bad boys.
Bad boys, they got some athletes. Today we played them, so I only really seen them. I think the day that or was I not there when we played them?
I can't remember if you were or not. I thought about it for a second. I have no recollection of you playing. I know you guys played against them, but I don't remember that game at all anymore.
I wasn't there. I think Tay and them played.
Gotcha.
So I don't even know if is that Eddie's team? Is that who Eddie and them were?
Yeah, that's the Renegades Aftermath, baby.
Okay, I was there playing them. We played them the first game of our triple hitter.
Okay. Yeah, I think Ross might have had that one. That might be why I don't remember it.
Yeah, their quarterback threw like 3 or 4 picks. So
Jaleel's been struggling with that all year. That's been a real downfall this year.
He's got to get some better hot routes because he was literally saying hike and just throwing it straight down the middle of the field on post, probably every third play. So that was the only time I've really seen him.
Yeah, it's crazy to think like he won Clash of York in his first 9-man tournament as a starting quarterback last year, beating Aftermath in the championship, incidentally. Renegades, yeah. We were talking back in January how he was that new hot sensation. Mike D was even giving him a lot of props.
Right.
I feel like there's times where Jaleel could still play at a high level. The turnovers are the one thing that's hurt his game a lot. But I feel like if they can get the offense right, because they've been on a bad slide, they're 3-9 since Ocean City.
Oh shit, yeah. Like I said, my first impression with him is he was just careless with the ball. I mean, I don't know their system or game plan that they have. I know you could throw anything short to Eddie and he could just make something happen. So, a lot of quarterbacks think because they got a strong arm means they got to throw it 50 yards to get 50 yards. But if you can throw it 10 yards and a guy can run and bust out of it and get 50 anyways, just do that. Safer, so.
You talk about Eddie. That's a guy who, while he's playing in the B team, he is an A-level receiver with just his ability. Honestly, he would be somebody who years ago, if he was in a different region, if he was in the 4th state, he would fit right into that old ADR Showtime offense very well.
Oh, definitely. He's that exact receiver that we have. Cannon, Mouse, we have J-Mo, Wayne, all those guys. He catches with his hand. He can with his hands. He makes cut. He can make people miss. If you can get him one-on-one, which is what I try to do with my receivers, all I can do is give you a one-on-one opportunity, make a guy miss, and run to the house. So he can definitely do that. I really like his game.
Going to ask about some random teams now outside of OMFFL.
All right.
Going to start out with Dream. Have you had much of a chance to see Dream?
I haven't even. So basically, every time in Ocean City, they played at the same time we played every time. So I didn't get a chance to walk down there, but I did. I do have both of their games saved in my save thing from Ocean City in case we do ever go play there. I've already got them saved, so yeah. So I do have the film on them. I just haven't got to that yet.
PME, they made a comeback this year in MAFFL, had a tough draw with Rampage in the quarterfinals. You yourself can relate to that with that
Yeah.
Scorpions draw. One of those
Right.
times where a
Yeah.
first round game would be a championship game in another bracket.
Right. Yeah, 100%. But
Um,
I don't even know what PME has right now because some of those guys went over 7 points for nationals, and
I know that they had a few 7-point guys. Cody was there when they played in that
right.
playoff with Rampage. I know a couple of their guys were there.
Yeah, he had a couple of them there, but the ones that normally played with them, they all play 5-man with me. So like Senor, Reese, and Joe and them. So none of them showed up there because we was all playing 5-man. So I don't know what PME has. I don't know if it's just all PME guys with a couple 7-point guys. I mean, Dio's won a bunch of tournaments everywhere. So you would think him being in his hometown with his full roster, I would have thought they would have won that.
Yeah, they definitely had a lot of guys when they were playing Rampage. Like I go back and look at that sideline they had. They seem like they had just about almost everybody back from where they were.
Right.
I look forward to seeing how they grow. Recently, we did a rankings of all the DMV teams. I had them at number 8 by the end of the season, just based on what I saw them evolve into throughout the season and potentially
Right.
what they could be later on. We'll see what happens. Another team that you've been very familiar with since their beginning, AFN. We talked about it. It's not the same nation that we grew accustomed to between 2017 and 2020.
Right.
They managed to get their first circuit win since Worlds 2020 back at AC when they knocked off the Dragons, but
right.
It's not quite been the same nation. Have you had an opportunity to check out AFN this season? And if so,
I watched.
what you've been missing?
Well, I watched their C bracket games, which they should have been in the C bracket. Let's be honest. So when their trail laid there on Saturday, I mean that's a big loss. I mean they're a completely different team.
I don't think Cuzzo was there either, or Hudgens on Saturday.
Right, none of them were there on that Saturday. So I mean that changes stuff. They didn't know nothing about the C bracket. I know AFN. All they care about is Sunday. So that's when they was coming with their guys and stuff like that. So it sucks they didn't get to play in the B bracket on Sunday because they would have won games.
That's what I felt like hurt the Ocean City B tournament a lot was, don't get me wrong, I do think a C level is something that eventually will happen within the 9-man sport. I'm seeing it across all other styles already. But I felt like, and I always had the same problem with the county split, where sometimes there are lower level teams who go into that B bracket who might have had some kind of shot to make a run. Not saying that they could have won, but they could have pulled off an upset or two.
But yeah, if you're like a 8-9 seed and you got to play a 6 seed, you should have a chance to win those games. But the C bracket, now it'd be different if, let's just say guys went out there and went 0-2 on Saturday and they said, okay, yeah, put us in the C bracket because we're not ready. We wanted to come out here and see where we're at. We're just not ready. But for a team like AFN, who is a true circuit team, and what does every circuit team do?
They
don't give a shit about Saturday.
Yeah. Because Saturday only means for seeding, and even then with seeding, we've learned in the past you can have a high seed, but if you get a bad matchup on Sunday morning, you can be done early.
You can be done early, right? So to AFN, who's won these championships, they've been everywhere, played in every circuit tournament there is. They're a veteran team. They didn't want to play in no damn C bracket. So if they went 0-2 and chose to play in the B, let them play in the B. Maybe there was a team that went 1-1 on Saturday that might have wanted to go into the C bracket instead of just knowing they're getting ready to play that, Rampage and get beat 30-6 and go home. So, you know what I mean? So I think they should have had the option.
Yeah. Because I looked at them and I look at another team I'm going to ask you about, the Tri-State Spartans. Both of those teams were B caliber. They were no C teams in that tournament. They were just as good as the teams they went against on that Saturday. Because, you go back to the Spartans. They had to play Baez Auto and Bad Boys. Two
and
teams
Bad Boys. Right.
Yeah.
But
and, AFFL.
For the Spartans,
yeah.
For the Spartans, though, I didn't mind them playing in the C bracket. It's their first ever time. Let's just say they went 0-2 and then had to play Rampage, right? So if you would have put them in the B bracket, going 0-3 wouldn't have done nothing for the Spartans, right? So actually putting the Spartans in the C bracket, it gave them a little confidence. You got to see lower B teams and be able to get some wins under your belt. Now you can go, okay, this is what we got to do. We're going to have to face the Bad Boys. We need X player, Y player. Let's start looking for these type guys to play the Bad Boys and Bezado and stuff like that. So I thought the Spartans going to the C bracket was good for them, but not AFL.
Understandable. Your thoughts on the growth of the Spartans team this year? We talk about it playing on both leagues Saturday and Sunday, playing City for the first time. They'll be at the Charm City Classic. Much different team than what we saw when they came back in 2019 with Don and company. Your thoughts on the growth of the Tri-State Spartans?
They're putting in work, man. Marquise got them working, man. They're trying to build and get better. The only thing I've seen from their KFFL team and county team is how many of them guys are actually on your team. So now you're about to go to a circuit where a lot of the guys you've been playing with for the last 3 months don't play on your team. So now that fourth receiver who was in Keystone was your sixth receiver who didn't play a whole lot, but now you're going to go to a tournament. Now he's moved up to your fourth receiver, and now he's hasn't got much experience because you've been playing guys that not on your team. So how many of those guys that played through county and KFFL, which their roster was really good, but how many of them are actually going to be with you come Baltimore? So that's my only question about the Spartans is, because I know Sean Parker and those guys ain't going to be there with them. So, what guys do you have that are actually on your team? Because that's the true Spartans team we're going to see at Baltimore. So I don't know how that'll go.
We shall see. Thoughts on another Washington County team, Broad Axe. They won the league first time since the fall of 2017. Congratulations to a lot of the guys on that roster, especially the veterans, Tom Hoffman, Sean Kendall, who got to see one last happy ending for the franchise. Shout out to a lot of guys like Malcolm Gaskins and Kaja Cooper, who got their first league championships. They both went double up, actually, winning with the Killer Bees as well.
They didn't win one with us? I thought they already won with us.
They didn't win in county. They never won county before.
Okay, you meant county. I thought you said championships.
Yeah, no, Malcolm has a Charm City chip.
Okay.
Yeah, but you also look at it, Timmy Townsend, and that's the one guy I want to talk about, Timmy Townsend. I didn't have many opportunities to watch Broad Axe this year. I was busy on Sundays. I don't know how many opportunities you had to see because you were all so busy all year. But the few times I watched Timmy Townsend play, whether it be against the Warriors or the Spartans, he looked like an entirely different quarterback than the one we saw the last few years. We talked about a Rookie of the Year in 2019. Had a rough 2020. Had a very tough Washington County League to be a part of as well this season. But in 2021, I felt like he grew into that kind of quarterback who can make something happen. Not sure where he's going to go long term with it. I still think he's one of the guys who can make a long career out of this sport because of the fact that he's got that skill set and athleticism. Your thoughts on Timmy Townsend and Broad Axe?
Congratulations to Broad Axe. We all got a lot of friends on that team that play with them. They had Coley come over, TJ come over.
I think that's TJ's first 9-man chip too.
Yeah, probably is. And so you had Lucas and all those guys. Broad Axe is a true league team though. So they Tom does it right, man. He went out and got a bunch of young guys. His guys are getting older. I think Tom, by picking up all these young high school kids, he bought himself a bunch of time. I mean, Tom's getting older too, but I think he can play for a while now because you got all this youth around you. As long as his body holds up staying in the trenches, he's fine. And I think the growth of Timmy is Broadax finally got away from that damn running game. You got a guy that can sling that thing. Now you give Timmy more open lanes to run. He can run. Now you give him 4 or 5 receivers. He can spread it out. He just came out of high school, so he's used to a running gun system. So I think his growth from when the first year he played with Broadax, he was playing a style that he wasn't familiar with. Big tight end, running back, sometimes 2 tight ends, stuff like that. So from what I've seen, I watched, of course, TJ and Coley are on the team, so I watched as many of their games as I could. I say good for him. Let him sling the damn ball. Get out of that 1976 fucking flag football concept.
Thoughts on KFFL champion Killer Bees, a team that I don't know what they're going to look like come fall. I talked about it with them a few weeks ago when I was doing my ranking show with Ross, and I mentioned that while the KFFL championship was an awesome moment for them, a big time moment,
right.
I feel like it comes at a cost in the end. And that cost was you're not going to have the same guys going forward because they aren't really the Killer Bees.
100%.
And I think and that's no diss to the players because,
right.
They went out there and did their work. They won that team a championship. And I think the Killer Bees should be grateful for that because of the fact that without them, I don't think it would have even happened.
No, 100%. I mean, they would have been back to winning one game, beating whatever the other bad teams are up there. The Killer Bees, they're another one. They're trying to travel with players that ain't their guys. So even when the league play, now don't get me wrong, Killer Bees, you want to be a league team, do that. Load your team up with talent of guys that are on the circuit that want to come play on their weekends off and shit like that, like they just did. They won the championship with Tay and all those guys. Congratulations. I mean, that's what you want to do, right? So, but I don't know what bridge they burned over there. They should have left it as, hey, I appreciate y'all's guys' help for coming over here. Come back anytime Misfits ain't playing and help us win and learn. That's simple. Leave it at that. Don't go out and try to compete with, we're the Killer Bees. Y'all should be with us. If you're not playing with us, we don't want you, blah, blah, blah. I mean, that shit's just dumb as hell. First of all, I mean, that's dumb. I mean, what brand, you're the Killer Bees who have never won a circuit game or anything like that I know of. Versus you had a bunch of Misfits guys willing to come over and help you learn and help you play when they can. And you burned that bridge. So I have no clue what the Bees are going to look like moving forward. Probably not good is my guess.
We shall see. We talked about Misfits as well. You were there in a coaching role, more so in Atlantic City. Misfits got the win over Punishers on day 1, 19-17. They then fell to the 148 Outlaws right after that. And then day 2, tough draw with a takeover team that I feel like a lot of people tend to forget about when it comes to that 9-man A circuit. They tend to fly a little low because they're overshadowed.
And they play A ball every weekend, so
yeah,
that helps.
Yeah,
that helps. I mean, but I mean, so basically, again, I put Tay in a bad spot right there. I had been playing quarterback. Tay had been playing wing and tight end and being Mr. Versatile, everything for me. So then, I had AFFL in Florida the following weekend, and I had a lot of money invested in that, and I couldn't take a chance on getting hurt. So, my Misfits family, they respect what I was trying to do with AFFL, and they understood why I wasn't playing, and me and my guys wasn't playing. But yeah, I put Tay in a bad spot. Not playing quarterback there for a couple months, and then all of a sudden you go into an A tournament and got to play quarterback. So I apologize to him, but it was great learning experience for Tay. He got a win. We came out on Sunday. We just came out flat. They just wasn't a good day for us that morning.
Let's go over. You mentioned AFFL playing a huge factor in what has kind of stunned you a little bit from playing 9-man. We talked about it. You missed out on AC due to it. You're going to miss Charm City due to it. All understandable, though, when you take a look at the stakes of what's going on. $200,000 on the line at the end of this. Let's go back to it. I know AFFL had started actually right after you began 9-man in 2018. We started Pros versus Joes that first year. It was an awesome time. Third season now. You went down there to Davenport back in June 12th. Northeast region went down to probably the best facility I've been to for any 9-man event.
It was amazing. Yeah.
Your impressions on playing the AFFL style and your thoughts of it?
I mean, it's not a bad style actually. It's kind of, you got to learn the rules to understand it. But I'm telling you what, it puts you see some of the best players in the country playing this style. I mean, when you're talking about, it's going to end up being a total of $225,000 to the winner by the time they win their money through the advancing rounds and then get to 200 at the end. That's going to bring out the best players in this whole country. Especially now, that first year I didn't even know about it until I seen it on TV. So, when you have teams winning the $500,000 and they're being on TV, shit like that, that's going to bring out the best of every style. I don't give a shit what style you play. You play 1-man, 2-man, 3-man. You hear a seven-man AFFL for $225,000, you're going to learn to play it. So we went to Florida. We was missing a lot of guys. Meach had his concussion. At that time, he had just got it. He kind of missed. Senor just had a baby. His wife just had a baby. And a lot of guys missed. But we actually went down there for the first time playing it. That was my first time playing quarterback in that style. We did play a 7-man one time, and I think Charlotte, but the rules were a little different. It was like a screen type game up there. So I tried to play a style close to it one time, but then we went to Florida. First game, I was struggling. First game, I was struggling trying to figure this shit out and being able to read the defense and everything like that. But then once halftime hit of that first game, from there on out, we just went on the roll. So we ended up getting our winners bracket down there, which led us to Indy.
And that's where we were last weekend, Indianapolis. Go through the first game. Getting out there, we talked about going out in the Colts practice facility, probably the best facility you've played in to date.
Yeah, you just walk up there and you see all the Colts stuff, hanging up. You see where their players are actually there playing and practicing, and just realizing there's a lot of great talent out here on this field right now playing and practicing. We got to go out and, put on a show. That's what AFFL is. It's a show. So you need to come with your best football. You need to have your mind right, your body right, and give it every fucking thing you got, because you're not going to get too many chances to get a chance to play for $225,000.
Yeah. And you have a real opportunity coming up. It's going to be on August 14th. You have a matchup with the Minutemen, who were able to make a run. They beat the Rough Riders and then proceeded to beat a very highly ranked Florida Fury team. Have you had an opportunity to see much of this Minutemen squad?
Yeah, I actually watched them play the Florida Fury team. So I don't know what Florida Fury was thinking. I guess they were thinking, once we get to TV, we'll bring in our big guns. So they didn't have a lot of kids down there. They had a bunch of young guys that played flag, and I'm not sure how well they played that style either. So um, you know I don't know what the Florida Fury was thinking. They Like I said, they didn't bring none of their top guys, so they went down there and they got upset. If you take any team lightly, you're not going to win down there. We played Curry Bombers. I think it was Curry Bombers. It was Church's Money and Curry Bombers combined or something like that. They combined. So you're taking two top 10 teams in AFFL combining to make one. So when we got there, I'm on the sideline. And apparently, a bunch of the Curry Bomber guys were there, sitting there talking to some other guys, and they were just sitting there talking about how they're just going to blow Showtime out. Yeah, we hear they're a contact team. We're just going to blow them out. It ain't gonna be, it ain't gonna be no game. So I'm standing there, and some of the guys that they're telling this to knows, that I know them, right? So they're just looking at me like smiling and winking. So I just stood there and listened. I didn't tell them who I was with. I just stood there and listened to that shit, and I let the guys know. I was like, these guys really believe that because we play contact, that they're just gonna mop us. And if you go from contact, and now I can go to a field with no linemen in front of me, all skilled guys. I'm sorry, our 5-man resume speaks for itself. We got some of the best skilled guys in the country. So, and then we went out and just started that game, and I think we was up 28-0 on them at one point, and then I think they scored a couple times towards the end. And second half, I really didn't do a whole lot. We were somebody was hitting me up. They was like, "Man, you need to tighten up for tomorrow. Y'all didn't play too well in the second half." But I was already on to Code Red at that point. Once we was 28-0, I had done watched every game Code Red played over the last 3 weeks. So I was calling plays against Curry, Church's Money, whatever it was. I was calling plays in the second half of that game, working on stuff that already knew I was going to do tomorrow against Code Red. So, yeah, basically, once we blew them out, we just worked on we changed everything, offense and defense, just to work on a style and a plays just to be ready for Code Red.
So now you got about 3 trips to Houston, Texas to make the win it all. Talk about the travel and everything else like that. All this you've done, I gotta believe, Chris, you've all done a lot of miles in the last year for traveling in flag football. What is it about being on the road is the biggest challenge for you as a competitor?
Actually, I don't mind it. I was like that even through high school, college, any sport I played. I love playing with the other visitors. I love being a visitor somewhere. I love going into somebody's hometown, beating the shit out of them, and then telling them about it. I just love it. So me traveling to people's hometown to play them, I love doing that shit. So I've always got a thrill from that. Always. So I love that shit in general. I love playing a Carolina team, going to Carolina, spanking them, and letting them know about it. I mean, no better feeling. And then letting them know I'm from, 2 up, 2 down, VA. So always got to let them know. I love it.
So 3 weeks in a row, you'll be on the road for Houston potentially.
Yeah.
Potential on being on television, on CBS, the opportunity of that being a possibility. Would this be your first time playing in front of a national audience or any sort of live television audience?
I think so. I know back when I was going through high school, going through a lot of the Nike camps, we would get a lot of exposure from that because, like Colby was there, Garnett was there. So when we would play all those Nike games, I'm not sure if they national televised, but the media was crazy back then with that because there was no internet. So you actually had to couldn't really watch those games other than being recorded and televised like that. So, yes, but technically, I guess this will be my first time being nationally televised. Man, we're excited. We're ready, man. We just to go through the team that we went through to get there in Code Red and Mike D is, I mean, that's an amazing accomplishment of beating those guys, because when we were there after we beat Curry Bombers, there wasn't a team there that thought Showtime stood a chance against Code Red. There wasn't one team. There probably wasn't. No, if you wasn't from Virginia, nobody would thought we could win, because Code Red's and Mike D's a powerhouse, right? So, and then to go and then to play Mike D in another game, the games I've played Mike D in over the last year have just been unbelievable games. So if anybody could just go back and watch the games between me and Mike D, it has been some of the most unreal finishes. Like a lot of times, if I tell somebody a story how the game ended when me and him play, they probably think I'm lying, because it has been the craziest shit that has happened in those games. It's just unreal, man. So if anybody wants to watch any games, go back and watch the games between me and Mike D, and they're crazy finishes.
Every single time, and I had the pleasure of being there for one of them. And I look forward to seeing more matches between you guys across the flag football world.
Yeah.
We're going to go rapid fire real quick with a couple of names and terms, see your thoughts on it. OMFFL as a whole, we talked about it 5 years ago, wasn't really around. Nobody knew much about Owings Mills Flag Football League. And in that time, you look at what this league has had,
right,
especially this season, which I could say was the best in the league's history.
Right.
When you take a look at the talent and the teams, Rampage, you guys and the Misfits, Scorpions, Maryland Titans.
Right.
You look across the board as well, going further down, Rideout, Elite Rebels, Bad Boys.
Right.
This was a league where every single week was a circuit week, especially for the teams playing double and triple headers. Your impressions as well on triple headers becoming a new norm in flag football for a lot of teams?
For me, because like we talked about earlier, that I love to travel. I love to go on to people's. I've went to leagues and we'll go down and play 4 or all 8 games in one day. So for me, that's been normal for the last 5 years, I would say. Since I really started getting into the travel part of the flag. But I like it, man, because that's how you get leagues to be better. If they're willing to let teams in playing, hey, look, you don't have to travel as much. Come down and play 2 or 3 games. We want you in this league. That's how you make it competitive. Your exact words were every week was a circuit week. And that's how you do that. So, the guys running OMFFL, congratulations to y'all, man, because that's what you got to do. You got to accommodate teams. And then, a lot of the local teams don't like it that you accommodate other teams, but it's about competitiveness. Do you want to keep playing the same 5 teams, or do you want us to get a real legit 12 teams in here and make this shit worth something? So competitiveness is OMFFL. I love it.
GCFFA.
Can't wait to get down there. Can't wait to get down there. I watched, over the last couple of years, I watch a lot of the lives and stuff like that. Can't wait to be down there. I know Misfits are going, so I can't wait. I think we're gonna go down and play 4 games over one weekend, then come back play our other 4. So I can't wait to be down there, man. I want to see what those teams have for league teams, because we see what they got for travel. They'll have 2 or 3 teams go travel, and then all the other players from the league can jump on with them. So I want to see what their actual league teams look like. So that's going to be fun.
I look forward to it. We're going to try to make it a goal and a priority to get up there ourselves. We're currently talking to GCFFA about it. Would love to follow the Misfits and Scorpions up there. DMV going up north representing. We're looking forward to that this fall. That's going to be awesome.
Hell yeah. Yeah, I can't wait.
History being made in this game, a lot of it. Talk about the growth of flag football in general. We started to see the NFL put programs in different states that allow high school football, high school flag football, that is.
Right.
It has been something in Georgia. I know they passed it where women's flag football would be a high school sport being played down there. I've
Right.
always said I feel like 9-man would be a great spring sport for a lot of these high schools that don't play tackle and or do the
Right.
spring camps in the normal time. I think that would be a great that'd be great for them to get that conditioning in, especially for linemen who are forced to play a different kind of style, and for the
Right.
receivers to get down route running. And we talk about it all the time. No matter what kind of football you play, you can take something from that and use it towards another style. You can learn something from playing tackle and apply it to playing 9-man. You can learn something from 5-man and bring it over to 7-man. Anything
Right.
you pick up along the way will add to your skill set. You talk about it as well. Flag football being in the World Games next year. That's a big deal
Yeah.
coming up.
That's huge.
Yeah.
Well, you got
Talks.
so publicity, man. Now with the day and age of social media, I mean, this shit's you got, like I said, you go back to like Webb, hell, even Dion and Eric Bose and all these guys. They got these shows. Fresh got a show. Their publicity that they're getting, they're putting this shit out here, man. There's young kids watching these little spin moves, these dips, these highlights, going shit. Man, I'm playing that. Like it's unreal the popularity of this sport that's happening. And another thing is so basically when I grew up, we played tackle in the street. It didn't matter. You played tackle
Yeah.
football wherever you went. The cars were out of bounds. So if you got pushed into the car, you was out. So
That's
it
a
didn't
game I
matter
grew
where
up
you
with.
played. Right. It didn't matter where you played tackle. But now with the concussion issues, little kids getting hurt playing tackle because they're not properly teached. So now, as a younger age, these kids now, instead of at 5 and 6 years old being forced to play tackle the way we was, now they're playing flag football. NFL is doing the little programs for flag football. So now they're getting kids to learn the technique. They're learning flag football growing up. So now when they get out of college, high school, pros, they're like, shit, I'll play flag football. I played it when I was a kid. So, and man, it's fucking growing fast. I can't believe it. It's where it took off was just from us playing 8-man in Virginia, but and I thought that shit was huge when us having like 30 or 40 teams come to our state tournament and shit. Like, damn, this is really sweet and nice. And then you actually get out there and you see 732 teams at nationals or worlds. It's just flag football is unreal right now, man. And I'm just happy to be on this wave right now, man. We're fucking playing good. We got a legit. I mean, when I tell you we got a legit chance to win this money, man. We got a real shot, man. And I appreciate everybody back home, man. A lot of people message me, congratulating me and shit like that. And I might not be able to reach back out to everybody, but man, everybody that I've ever encountered with on a football field, I've always tried to talk to them and speak to them, become friends and family, and to have everybody cheer and root us on, man. That it's much appreciated. So don't think I don't notice and see the comments and shit like that, man. I appreciate each and every one of y'all, man, because we're trying to bring this shit back home for the fourth state. Man, it's just a hell of a high right now being on this trip, man. Just we know we got to get it done, man. It's all business from us right now. I mean, we're breaking down. It hasn't even been a day. I mean, by the time I didn't even make it back home Sunday night before my guys, my teammates, we was already posting in the group plays, highlights, what we did wrong, what we did right. So it wasn't even 4 hours, and guys we wasn't even in the group celebrating. We went straight to what we fucked up, what we messed up, what we need to do right, what we got to do. And it was, man, that's just an awesome feeling when you have every guy on the same page of one goal of we haven't done shit yet. You know, we're going to bring this bitch home, man. And that's how we feel.
And I look forward to seeing how you guys do. August 14th, Showtime will be in action. Looking forward to it. Looking forward to see how the rest of the year plays out for you, Chris Boone. You have had an amazing stretch in your career at flag football over the last few years, going back to that 2017 9-man A championship against 7-point spread. And it's one of the things that make you perhaps one of the most underrated quarterbacks in the country. But I do believe it's time to start putting Chris Boone in that top 5, top 10 category of flag football quarterbacks, no matter what style it is.
No, I'm working, you know, I'm not working for no ranking or nothing like that, but I'm definitely working to show, you know, a lot of these non-contact players don't believe us contact players are that great. So, you know, all the non-contact guys get to love, right? So they're always on that style. Everybody sees them. We're going to show them, hey, non-contact guys, contact guys are just as good, and we're going to show it to you, and we're going to prove it to you. So Showtime, VA, we're here. We plan on bringing this shit home.
And we're looking forward to seeing Showtime in action in just about 2 weeks. Chris Boone, thank you for joining us tonight. Thank you to the audience for watching as well. We look forward to talking to you again really soon, Chris.
Appreciate everything you do, man. Thank you so much.
Appreciate you. And ladies and gentlemen, we're going to wrap up tonight. Tune in.
Have a good night.
Good night, sir. Tune in tomorrow night. We'll be recapping the AFFL Just Win Bigs tournament. We'll be talking to the Prez. We'll have him on air for some real talk on Blunt Talk. Till then, I'm Joey Blaze. We'll see you soon.